What is up, everybody? Welcome to O2 Productions. My name is David Janzar. I'm here with my partner and good friend John Carter, and welcome to episode 2 of One Take. This is a new show on the channel that where one of us comes forward with a certain take about a movie or something related to movies, anything in the movie space, and it's been fun so far through episode 1. Hope you guys have seen that. If you haven't, check it out. That was a really good episode, went really well. And now we got episode 2, and I'm bringing something to the table here today. So, before we jump into it, if you haven't already, check out the pitch. That's our first ever feature film. It's right here on YouTube. So, if you have the time, we'd really appreciate it if you can check it out. And without further ado, are we good to jump into it, sir?
Yep, totally.
All right, so let's do it. So, how this works, actually, let me just run through that really quickly. We're going to do
Yep.
it less and less as we go along because hopefully you guys will get used to the format. But basically, um, today it's me starting off, but one of us, or maybe a guest in some cases, will come forward with their one take. They have 90 seconds? 45.
Yes. 45.
45 seconds. I confused it with
45 seconds.
the other thing we did. Um,
Yep.
they have 45 seconds to, if we're talking about a specific movie, give a quick, very quick review of the movie and then provide their take and whatever necessary beginning explanation for it. And then the other person has 45 seconds to then give their rebuttal, response, whatever you want to call it. And then once those two segments of 45 seconds are up, then everything opens up and it's just a typical movie debate. Before we get into our debate, I do want to just say a quick piece about the controversy behind Scream 7 with Melissa Barrera getting fired for what she said about the Israel-Palestine conflict. We're not here to get into super political discussions, but I do think it has to be addressed to make you guys know that we are aware of it. I do not support her getting fired. I do not plan on supporting this movie. I will probably see it, but not in theaters and not. I don't want to support the people behind it who decided to fire her just for having an opinion and exercising her right of free speech. And so I'm going to just leave that there. Not going to talk too much about the nitty gritty about what that's all about, but totally understand. We still feel like we want to talk about the movie because we enjoyed talking about movies and having these discussions, but we are not at all endorsing the decision that the studio made, and we are certainly not endorsing people to be supportive of what they did. And with that said, we can get into the debate.
Yep.
Let me pull up a timer here. Gonna put 45 seconds on the clock, and as soon as I hit start, I'm gonna go. So,
Feels like fast money right now.
yes, and here we go.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about Scream. Scream 7 is, as of the date we're recording it, it's going to come out, but it will probably be out by the time we upload it. But my take is that in Scream 7, Matthew Lillard, who's being brought back for the first time since the original, his character is Stu Macher. I believe I want to speculate about what he's going to be in the movie. And I believe that he should be very similar, if not the same, as in the original. He should be a crazy lunatic psychopath who kind of creeps everybody out. Now knowing obviously that he was the killer, the one of the originals, and he should be a red herring though, and not be the actual final revealed ghost face. It's
Yeah.
hard to fit in that 45 seconds, isn't
I was watching the clock. I was like, there's no way he's getting it through. Yeah.
it? I kind of
Yeah.
messed up because I didn't set up the fact that we were talking Scream. I probably should have set that before the 45 seconds.
A little bit. So, my one take to counter what Dave said is I would, since they're bringing back Stu, I would like to see him actually used not as a red herring because that just feels too obvious, too much of an obvious use of bringing back his character. If you're gonna bring him back, might as well make him either the actual villain or somebody of significant importance, not just somebody to kind of like throw you off on who the actual killer is.
Okay,
And thank you. Yeah.
very well said. All right, timer is now off, and now everything's open. So, you think he should just be the killer, and you think that him being a red herring is more obvious, you think, than being the killer?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So first and foremost, I think we should put it out there that I would think that we both agree that Stu shouldn't even be brought back in general.
Well,
That's
yeah, no,
that's an area of which we agree
yeah,
upon. But
I'm not a big fan of um bringing back all these characters over and over again. I
yes,
mean, are we just gonna have Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell do this until they're 100 years old?
silly, silly. Yeah.
There's got to be a point
Um.
where we kind of move on. So yeah, I would agree with that. So there you
Well,
go.
yeah,
Starting
but
with
to
common ground. I like that. I like that.
sure, yeah, but to work off of that, if the Scream franchise is now becoming the new Fast and Furious, where nobody's actually dead, um, when franchises, shows, movies do that, typically speaking, they do bring them back to either be a plot twist or just like something to throw you off. And it feels to me again, it just feels too obvious use of bringing back his character to just either have him die off in the first 5 seconds or to constantly be show up in random places to kind of throw people off. And what I'm arguing for is to obviously not do that. Just make him the villain, make him prominent. If you're gonna bring him back, make him do something. You know?
Okay. Well, I feel it might be kind of obvious to make him the killer at the same time because, oh, you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
bring back this big character who was a killer, and now you're just gonna take every possible advantage of having this actor
Mm,
back and having this character back to now be, oh, he's the villain again. I also think
sure.
that's kind of
Yeah.
just a boring answer to have him just be the killer. Not that him being a red herring is that interesting either. Again, bringing the character back at all is to me not that
Mm,
interesting. I don't know if he's a character that really needs more of a story to be told with him. But if I were to have him in Scream 7, that's what I would want to do. So we get that flavor of him being, you know, sketchy and being suspect, but
mm,
we can have a unique killer that isn't something we've already seen before, which Scream is very well known for. That's exactly what the franchise is
mm,
largely built on is having fresh faces behind the mask. Obviously, the mask
yes.
stays the same, but who's behind it almost always switches up.
Right.
And one thing I do want to say, because I fear that this is what they're gonna do, is please do not try to redeem his character. If they try
Mm,
to make him a good guy now, like just because he's like Matthew Lillard is a very well liked actor within like the fan bases who know him. I don't know how he's seen beyond that, but from what I know, I mean, he's pretty well liked as an actor. Um, and because I feel like just because he's shown up in a lot of like bigger movies, and he's shown up in a lot of movies, and he seems, from what I've seen, he seems like a pretty good person. I don't know. I can't speak. I never met the
yeah.
guy, but
Right.
I fear that that's what they'll do though, because he is like he's well known obviously, but also very well liked.
Mm,
That they're gonna be like, okay, let's bring him back and let's let him be a good guy. Let's put him on the good side since everybody likes him so much. Oh look, Matthew Lillard's back. Look, he's a good guy now. Everybody's
right.
friends. It's like I
Mm,
really would not like that, and if they do that, I am going to be a little bit annoyed, I will say.
mm,
So I don't know how you would feel about that, but I personally think if they try to, because his character is just like such a maniac from the beginning, and it's like
yeah.
to now bring him back to like try to give him a story arc. If they do it really well, maybe it'll work for me, but I do not want that to happen. If he's the killer, fine, but I think he should be a red herring.
Mm. No, I can agree with you on not wanting him to be have a forced redemption
Yeah.
arc um so late into the franchise, and also just to bring him back from supposedly the dead, and actually to talk about his supposed death. Even the casting crew of Scream, and I believe the director said, "Oh yeah, he's dead," and then they bring him back. Um, so I mean, I don't really know what to argue against not having him have the redemption. I mean, um, like you said, you want to have those fresh faces as Ghostface. So I mean, one thing I guess they could maybe do is if some way he had a kid and his kid is turns out to be Ghostface, and like you said, if he had the redemption or he's a red herring, he could um, be kind of like just like a distraction to like who the real Ghostface is. So I mean, I could definitely see both ways as to it being uh, acceptable. I don't think this is going to be necessarily a good movie, but it's just a matter of what people will find acceptable. I guess is
Yep.
the right way to say it.
Actually, that's a really interesting take with him having a kid.
Mm,
Uh, in that case, that could be just an interesting dynamic to have Stu and his child in the movie. And then,
yeah.
I mean, I'd also like to see the mom too. Who in the world would have a child with that that nut
Yeah.
job?
What if
Um,
it's like Courtney Cox or something? That'd be
uh,
crazy.
wow, that would be quite a twist.
It would. Yeah.
You know what? Probably that right there, what we kind of just concocted right there
Mm.
is probably going to be like 10 times more interesting than what the actual movie's going
Probably.
to
Yeah. Probably.
be.
But
uh,
we'll see.
um, so I guess we can talk a little bit about the movie in general because they're
Hmm.
going back to the original house. I don't know if you've seen the trailer.
No, I actually haven't. No.
They're going back to the original house that Sidney Prescott lived
Interesting. Okay.
in the first Scream, which
Mm.
again, we're really riding the gimmicks here. Now,
Yeah.
could that maybe be some sort of indication as to how they're going to use Stu? I mean, if we're going back to the same house, are they going to then go back to the same killer, because he has the ties to that house? That's where, all his killings happened, or the
Right.
majority of them. Maybe. And I think
Well.
I think with him as a red herring, like because his character's been built out, he's in a prime position to be a red herring that's actually meaningful, which, in my opinion, can be a bit of struggle in the franchise.
Mm.
Is there's a lot of times with red herrings, like it's a very surface level character, or it's somebody who's kind of just thrown in there just to be like just to have that like fake out. Whereas
Hmm.
here, it's like, okay, we have an established killer. We are somewhat familiar with the character because he was part of the main cast from the original. So instead of somebody
Right.
just showing up and, oh, this guy's just acting creepy. Oh, every 5 minutes we see this random character just standing in the shadows ominously for no reason. Oh, they're
Uh,
not the killer. They were
sure.
just standing like
Right.
a weirdo the entire time. Like
Mm.
there's more to his character than that. And so I,
Right.
I I hope that they at the very least play around with that and take advantage of it. Um, because I think it's fairly easy to be able to work with that considering you're bringing him back. And so that's
Hmm.
what I'm hoping. If he ends up the killer, I guess that's cool too. But I think it would be a cooler route to really play with the dynamics between him and Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell with their history and
Sure.
having that dynamic play out across the majority of the movie. And maybe Stu ends up getting killed towards the end, or
Again.
maybe they redeem him. I,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah.
Right. But could you also what do I want to start with? Could you also make the argument that possibly making him a red heron would just be a misuse of his character?
No, there's no chance that she's in the movie because she did not like how they dealt with Melissa Barrera, so she left.
Mm.
And so
Sure.
there's no
Okay.
chance. They cut all ties because they don't like each other now.
Mm.
So
Fair play.
that's about all I have to say about uh, the Stu situation. Would you want to maybe um, do a little bit of discussion about the franchise and like in terms of like where they should be going since we so strongly criticized them bringing everybody back? Like,
Right.
where do you go? Okay? let's like
Sure.
Scream 7 is happening, so we have to
Hmm.
exist in the sense that yes, they brought Stu back. Whatever they do with Stu, we don't know. We'll find out eventually.
Right. Hmm.
But this Scream 7's come back or has come. Stu's come back. They went back to the old house. Where do you go for Scream 8? Do we go to Scream 8? Realistically, we
Uh,
both know the answer to that.
yeah.
We shouldn't go to Scream
Um,
8. We shouldn't have gone to Scream.
I don't know. Maybe we could they could do like fast forward 50 years, so it's an entirely new cast, um, and a new story, hopefully,
Hmm.
and maybe even a different place. So
Okay. What about? Hmm. I was tempted to say, but I don't want to do this because this is a bit too ridiculous. Even well, I would say even for my taste, I typically am not a huge fan of like overly ridiculous, over the top ideas. But I'm just gonna throw it
sure,
out there. This is not
yeah,
my main idea because I just thought of another one that might be cool. But
they go to space.
Scream in space.
Oh,
That
actually,
that was
that's
literally it.
exactly what you're
That was
thinking.
literally it.
Oh man,
Why
yeah.
not? At this point, like
Every
we're at Scream 8, man. We're at Scream 8. Maybe we just take it to space. Maybe we're just on the
no,
ISS,
no,
we're at the space station and Ghostface shows up, man. Somehow Ghostface returned, you know?
no,
Anyways, my
no.
actual slightly better idea, I think. How about a
Sure.
bottle film with Ghostface? My immediate thought went to like a theater.
Mm,
Maybe the thing is they've already been at a theater before, but it was in the finale of Scream 2 where they are,
right.
I believe, where they things kind of end up at a theater. Uh Actually, yeah, a pretty big part of the third act is at a theater. Okay, scrap the theater idea. We need a new idea. But give me
Sure.
a bottle film. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but let's just say make cruise ship. Cruise ship. There we go.
Sure.
Cruise ship. Let's just have one set piece that has a lot of people though. I'd like this to be bigger scale, maybe less focus on individuals and more so on
Mm,
the collective group. Give me a bit of like a paranoia type of film. Something where we see
mm,
the reactions and responses of like several groups of people and Ghostface is terrorizing this entire area that nobody can escape from. So we get a lot of
mm,
character dynamics. We get a lot of, you know, he said, she said, you did, who did, let's fuck type action,
right.
Like
Sure.
great, I might be working out, Scream 8 right now. I don't know.
Mm,
This it
yeah.
sounds fresh to me. Is it really going to be that original of idea? No, absolutely not. But is it
Right.
something different for the Scream franchise to do? I would think so.
Probably. I mean, I mean, a setting that.
We've
Mm,
done a good amount here. I don't think we need to
yeah.
go, for hours and hours on this topic, so
Right.
Um, do you want to just call it wraps there? I feel like.
Um. I mean, yeah. I don't really think I have anything else to really say about the Scream franchise, except that I would like it to not continue. Um. But I mean, they are fun movies, but it does come to a point where you're like, okay, it's time to call it quits.
It, it's time. It's time to at least take a prolonged break, at the very least.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't need a new Scream movie every 4 or 5 years, even. Like,
Right.
let's pump the brakes a little bit. We're
Mm,
7 iterations, man. Seven. I
yeah.
mean, they still can't even touch Fast and Furious, but still, we're getting there.
Right.
We're getting
Hmm.
there. And that's not something to be proud of. That's something to be, okay, let's
Yeah.
rethink things a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's going to be all today. A
Hmm.
little bit shorter than episode one, but these are going to play out just whatever. If the conversation keeps going, that's how it will go. And so, thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure to tune in for the next one take. That'll be coming at you in about a week or so. We'll see how the schedule pans out. But thank you, John, again for another great discussion. And
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we'll keep it going from here.